Alright, let's take a look at water options. There's many ways to store water before an emergency, which gives you the best peace of mind, knowing that you've already got the water stored. But there's also plenty of ways to find and make water safe after an emergency as well. So even if your stored water goes dry, don't panic too badly, but it's always good to make sure you store more than enough water. So let's get into how we can store it. Alright, there's water pouches you can get. They can last up to 5 years, they say. Very nice because they're very portable. That's kind of what I like about cases of small bottles of water. I sometimes like to get those cases, and that way, if you do have to bug out or anything like that too, you can pack the amount of water that you need. It's a lot easier to pack it in different spots, if it's in pouches or small water bottles. Water jugs are best for more use around the house. And then you can even get bigger water tanks, which there you're not going to bug out with those, even with a vehicle. Some of those heavier tanks are really heavy. Water bladders, like for camel packs and stuff like that. You can also store water there too. They've also got bladders to be able to flood a basin, like say your tub, and store water there. But then you'd kind of have to know that the emergency's coming. If you know the tornado's coming, you just fill that bladder, and then if the water cuts out, you've got water to last. Food grade buckets, you could store water in a food grade bucket. Don't use used bottles, at least not for drinking water. There could be little amounts of, like say if it's a juice bottle or something like that, or even maybe some of your backwash had some food in it, and that could be growing bacteria in that water. So used bottles are not good for long-term storage of water. I mean, if you're going to be, filling it real quick after you're done emptying your soda and drinking it right away, I don't think there's a problem with that. But don't be using used bottles for long-term storage. You don't want anything that's been inclined to grow bacteria in it. And just before an emergency, like I discussed here with the water bladders, with the bathtub, you've also got your basins in your house. You can fill them even without a bladder, but I would use that more for wash water, or definitely treat it as you pull it on out of there. Keep your basins clean. It's good to make sure that they are kept clean, that if you do need them, they're good to go for you. FEMA recommends rotating your water storage every 6 months. So, make sure that whatever you fill, you try to run it out, fill it, use it within 6 months, and refill it then at some point after that. Now, the used bottles thing is more what you've drank out of yourself, like, put your lips to, or if it's a jug that you poured it into a cup the whole time, you never actually drank directly out of the jug, that's not a problem. And if it was not, as long as it was water that was in there, it was not juice or something else like that that would rot or spoil or grow bacteria as easily, those would be fine. So I mean, your jugs, if you never actually drank directly out of your jugs, if you're getting reusable jugs, sure, empty them and then it's, fill them up, use them within 6 months, and refill them. Rinse them out, refill them, and that's a good way to do your water storage. Water recovery options here. If you do run out of all that, a fresh water body such as a river, lake, stream, something like that, that's an option. You can wait for rainwater and collect that. It's a little iffy, you're hoping for rain. But that's another option. Toilet tanks. The tanks in the back of the toilet, the ones that feed the bowl, the tank on the top, that can be good for, I would say, wash water more than anything else. Drinking that would be a very last resort thing, and definitely do treat it if you're planning on doing that, but that is more wash water is what I would call that. Water heaters. Yes, you can drain your water heater. Once again, I would filter that water. It could have sediment in there and all kinds of stuff. Definitely would filter that for sure. But yes, your water heater's probably got a good 30 to 40 gallons of water in it. That's a lot of water there. It's good for, definitely for wash water, but yeah. And if you have an RV, there's a good chance that a lot of times they will have storage tanks in them that were intended for use with the camping, and you could probably pull water out of one of them as well. You can also recover by a number of different means to treat, and that would be filtration, boiling, and chemical treatment. There's a whole bunch of ways to do that. These are just a few examples. But yeah, filtration here is real good, especially with just cleaning out anything that's in the water as far as particles. Boiling kills things that are living in the water, and chemical treatment is also killing things that are living in the water as well. Me personally here, I would be interested in using a filter and one or the other of both of these. So that's what I would be thinking. You can get iodine tablets, bleach, chlorine, a number of things here which you can use to treat that water and make it safe as chemical treatment options. But for the most part, I mean, there's commercial made filters, there's homemade filters, there's all kinds of different filters. So there's a lot of these things here too. There's also a way to use the sun to help kill anything that's in that water as well, by leaving it in a shallow container, with the sun being able to fully access it for a period of time. That will also help to make it safe. Thank you for watching.